Welcome to the Stretch to Go podcast. My name is Ian Ray, your host. And today I got Michael Ortiz, based out of Las Vegas, Nevada, level 4 FST practitioner, owner of Massage Customs, massage therapist, and FST practitioner. Michael, welcome to the Stretch to Go podcast. Yeah, man. It's been a minute because I've been trying to get you on. I know you're a pretty busy guy, but I love to always start off with who you are, how you got to where you are in your career with, massage customs, and why did you become a massage therapist, first of all?
The main reason is because my wife told me to do it. I just kind of do what I'm told, right? So, that's kind of true, right? I was massaging her one night and she's like, you're actually pretty good at this. So you might want to think about doing it for a career. I think what she was really saying is like, listen, we're getting serious and you're a lifeguard,
Hey.
Maybe like she's like nudging me, like we need to make some real money here. And so I actually went and I saw later after that, I saw a commercial for it on TV. I called the school that day, went to check it out that day, got the tour, called my mom. I was like, what do you think? And they were like, yeah. And the good thing about it at the time was they gave you 6 months to decide if you really wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You could drop out and not have to pay anything. So it's kind of like risk-free. But I ended up loving it. So I went through a year program and now I've been doing it since 2006, almost 20 years.
Jeez, man, you're old. Okay. So how did FST come across in your life? What was that story?
FST started because one of the therapists that was working for me at the time, her sister went and saw somebody who did like a FST and cupping session on her and just got like crazy results for her pain and her posture and all these things like in one session.
Mm-hmm.
So she wanted to go check it out. I was like, you go, let me know how it is. I'm not putting up that much money for something I've never even heard of, So she went, did a session. She came back, did a session on me. It was definitely different. I'm like telling her like, you can go further than that. She's like, calm down. We're going to get there. I'm like, okay, do your thing. But then after like 2 weeks after that, my lower back felt really good. I didn't notice too much in the initial stretch or right after, but I noticed that, my lower back is not bothering me nearly as much. Like for me, it's like a constant thing that my lower back is an issue. And so that got me interested. I went and did level 1. I don't remember how long after that, but I did sign up after that, after the results I got.
What year was that?
That was right. It was March after COVID because I got COVID in November 2020.
Okay.
Or like maybe late October, early November. Mm-hmm. I waited right from the time that I had symptoms. It was like 19 days before my class, right? But I didn't get a test. I was right at 13 days from the start of the class.
Okay.
So I canceled at first, and then when I emailed them the weekend before, was like, hey, can I come? Because I'm actually no symptoms. It's been like 15 days at this point. It'll be 19 when I get there. They don't answer emails on the weekend or something. So Heather, my therapist, was going down there for that class as well. She's like, just come, just drive with me, and if they like, maybe they'll let you in. So I did. I drove down there. Didn't know if I was going to be allowed in. Got there that morning and they were like, no, I'm sorry. Since it's only been 13 days, we just can't risk it at the moment. And so I caught a car back home and re-signed up for March. So, drove 4.5 hours for no reason, 4.5 hours back. But it did make me stand out in their mind.
Yeah. Well, at least, you're not that far. You're like next door neighbor to Arizona.
Yeah.
So.
I wouldn't have flown out there. Not like you.
Yeah. Dang. Okay.
So when I did go back in March, that was the first class that I attended, and it was, in my opinion, life-changing.
Did you have any hesitancy when you first enrolled in the course, or did you already have someone like tell you because they had that, they had results right away? What were you basing off of enrolling? Just purely because someone told you, or?
Yeah, after my therapist came back, I got the experience of the session. So I did notice that I got results, plus she was giving me the stories that she's given, from her clients and the results they're getting. I'm like, all right. So yeah, I didn't really know what I was walking into as far as like, okay, how different is this going to be? I watched the videos beforehand. I'm like, what's the big deal? I remember I was practicing on clients just from the videos, and
Yeah.
then when I got there, I'm like, oh, I was not doing this right. Like, but I still got results even from just the videos. Like there was noticeable changes. I just,
Hmm.
the intention of it wasn't correct, and the movement wasn't correct, and the traction wasn't correct. All those details that you learn in class that you just don't get, and you can't learn in the video, in my opinion.
Yeah, way different. I think it's plus like your body doesn't know the positioning, like you can look at it, but it's like the feel of it, right? And of course, in being a massage therapist, it's all about the feel of the tissue, feeling, and even like placing your body. Like it's just total two things that you can't visually do it. You can visually see it, but you have to physically do it because of the fact that it's manual therapy. You have to work on your hands. Totally get it. I guess for you currently, who is a typical demographic that comes to massage customs to, get treatment? What are they doing? Demographic, population?
Man, I'm be honest, I feel like my demographic is all over the place, just having done this for so long. I was even trying to nail down like a target market recently. And I have target markets. Like if I had the time to start marketing again,
Mm-hmm.
and the space in my schedule, I would go after fighters, because I don't like massaging them because they're so deep, but they need the stretch. Like that would be my main target market for the fight for FST. But yeah, I get fighters, right? I worked on Andre Berto, hit me up to work on him when he was for his last fight, when he was out here in Vegas training for it. So, and I really enjoyed that experience and the results that we would get in his range of motion and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be that's a big one for me. I used to work on a lot of FST fighters just for massage. I'm sorry, not FST, UFC fighters.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I get a ton of parents. I get a ton of, just active people, like nurses. It's really all over the place.
Okay.
If I just look at my clientele.
So with being in Las Vegas, I mean, obviously the UFC, Apex gym is over there, kind of close by, I'm assuming. I don't know how far it is from where your location is, but how often
From my
do they
house,
come
like
to?
7 minutes.
Yeah, really.
I drive out every day to work. Yeah.
That's crazy. Do they actively seek out FST? Have you noticed with these UFC fighters, or are they coming in, for as far as recovery and like treatment? Are they coming in for just massage
Right.
or to?
Andre Berto is the first one who, in my experience, is actively seeking out FST.
Hmm.
Everybody else at this point is sold FST by me. So they might be coming in for a massage, and then I'm like, you know what, let's do something different. Now,
Yeah.
I have ads and stuff out on Facebook, so there are people who are wanting what they see in the video, but I don't know that they really know that it's FST. And then when they come in, I explain the difference between
Okay.
that, what stretching that they're seeing and what we're actually going to be doing today.
Hmm. So for you, I'm curious because when you have to explain to fighters or people who are unaware of what FST is, especially the word fascia, because that's what we're doing with FST, how do you explain to them simply so that they understand, like, it's not just a traditional stretching?
Yeah, the main things that I explain to them is I don't take a ton of time to explain to them like what I'm doing, but I will say look, we're going to be doing the stretching and it's going to be different than what you're used to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I don't want you to be in any pain because of anything I'm doing. Number two, you're going to, in your mind, think that I can go further. And then I'll take their arm, I'll take their leg, and I'm showing them this is where I start to feel the tightness in the tissue. This is what I need to work through first before we get into the point where you might actually feel a stretch. And so we're going to be using a lot of patience in getting the length out of the tissue. And I tell them if I go too far too fast, you're just going to tense up and I'm not going to be able to actually loosen anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are some of the main things because I want them, because I know when I was on the table in school or in class, and especially with the shoulder work, this is where I first started explaining what it is, I felt nothing. They're like, how's that feel? I'm like, I got nothing for you. It feels like nothing. It feels like you're just floating my arm in the air, you know? And so I think, in my opinion, those thoughts work against relaxation and release. So I manage those thoughts by explaining to them what they should be feeling. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So That's it. I just tell them, no, like I let them know up front, you're not going to feel anything when I do this. And then I'll just show them. I'll traction their arm out, and I'm like, right here is where the tissue stops if I don't force it. That's where I'm going to be working through. So that's all you're going to feel, right? And then eventually, as that loosens up, you may feel a stretch, you might not, but that's the point is not for you to feel a stretch. The point is for you to be lengthened. So usually when I do that, they are A-okay with it. Otherwise, I know they're sitting there thinking, this doesn't even feel like stretching. This doesn't feel like nothing. What are you doing, bro? You could go further. All those thoughts are going through their head. And so I make sure that we manage those thoughts.
Sure. Yeah,
and then
especially I
they
guess.
get up and they're like, wow, I feel so much better. What was that?
Do you have some client wins or success stories in the past of how FSD has helped them coming in from day one or even currently even?
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you the first one. I got several. I got a bunch. So we can do whatever you want to do. The first one though, I've been massaging this girl for like maybe 2 or 3 years at this point when I got this class, and she's always coming in. Her lower back is always in pain, and with massage and the things that we would do, we always got improvement, right? We always got a reduction in pain, and so that's why she kept coming back, because she'd leave feeling better, right? And then the first session I did on her, you know, she's one of these ones, you can go further. I'm like, chill. We'll get there. Right? She's pretty flexible anyways, but we're just working through that tightness gently. Afterwards, she gets up and she's like her mind is blown, right? She's like, it's probably 90% gone, right? In one session, this pain she's having. She's like, I just turned the camera on and recorded her because she's just talking, like going, like, oh my gosh, like what is like, and she's just like, how did you, just, I don't know. She's just flowing in what she's saying. I'm like, I'm just going to put the camera on and record you talking. This is a great review. And then, yeah, by session 2, her second stretch, she got up and she's like, there's nothing. She's like, this is the first time I can remember that I feel nothing. No pain. Right. And I was like, that's crazy. Right. Even still today, like when clients are like, I feel nothing, I'm like, that's crazy. I don't think I'll ever not be surprised or not surprised, but like, yeah, maybe surprised. I'm like, unbelievable that I did something that probably felt like nothing and you have no pain as a result. I mean, even my own experience the reason I'm so sold on it is because when I went to level 1, we worked with, it was during COVID, still, mask mandate. I think it was lifted at that class.
Okay.
We were working with one partner for 5 days. So normally they switch, right?
Yeah.
We only had one partner for the whole 5 days. So this is the first time I've ever worked with somebody I think because we actually switched the 5th day, 4 days in a row, one person back and forth. So I really got to see the results of where he started and then 4 days later where he ended up. And this dude was a personal trainer. I think his name was Michael as well, if I remember. He was a personal trainer, and I remember when we're resetting the hips and they're supposed to squeeze your arm at the end, it was so weak, I didn't know that he squeezed, right? I was like, go ahead, squeeze. He's like, I am, bro. I'm like, bro, you're a personal trainer, man. Like, let's go, bro. Like, squeeze these hands. And so that was day 1. And so we're working through that inner thigh tightness that he's having. By day 4, the increase in strength was so crazy. I'm like, yo, what's the difference here, man? Like, you're squeezing so hard compared to what you were doing before. He's like, nothing. I'm like, you've been working out? Like, he's like, no, just doing the stretching in class. I'm like, that's crazy, bro. Like, a massive improvement in strength, right? So it was really cool to see that. So that's number 1. Number 2 is he did a move on me. I forget what it's called when you sink into the iliacus and you lift the hip.
Yeah.
He did that on me, and again afterwards, he's like, how'd that feel? I'm like, oh, dude, I got nothing for you. It felt like nothing. It felt like you just put your hands on my stomach and then did a little lift, So there wasn't anything remarkable to experience while it was happening. But when I got up, we all got together as a group and they're asking us our takeaways. And I just tune in for a second and I'm like leaning side to side. I'm like, dude, I feel nothing. It's not even that I feel good. There's a nothingness. It's not there. There's nothing to feel. Is how I explain it. It's not even like, oh, I feel good or bad. There's just nothing. And it's the first time I can remember for the longest time that my lower back didn't bother me. Like, even when the girl did the stretch on me before, like, it wasn't like this. I felt better, but this was different. There's nothing. And I started crying because I'm like, I can't remember the last time I felt like this. And, you know, they got a video testimonial from me because of that, because I was crying and stuff. So I'm up there.
Yeah.
On
I
the
think I've
website.
seen it before.
Yeah. I think I even tear up in that video. I start tearing up every time I think about it.
Uh-huh.
Because for the longest time, it's just something that has always been there. I thought this is just part of my life. Now, you know, this is just something I got to manage. And for the first time, I had hoped that it wasn't that, right? That I could go about my life without pain. And so now when I hear people say, oh, I'm just getting old, or this is just the way it is, I'm like, I hate that. I'm like, that's not true, right? We normalize pain and it's not normal. You know, I think there's a solution now. We just don't know it yet, you know? So I'm sold on it, man.
Yeah. So you're not even 5 years in, and this has been the game changer for you personally and you as a practice, obviously, right?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, confidence levels through the roof. When you start getting results like this one dude came in limping because his lower back and legs were hurting so bad, and literally walked out with no pain in one session. Like when you start doing stuff like that, I mean, you got no choice but to have like crazy confidence. Like even if I don't even always understand how it happened, I just know that it does. You know, I'm like, look, this is my approach. This is what I'm doing. This is my mindset while I'm doing this, and we'll see what happens. And they're like, and then it happens. I'm like,
yeah. Do you typically mix in massage and FST in most clients, or is it just by person, or, you know, what's the balance between FST and massage for you personally when you're treating clients? Because I know people are different, but
yeah, that's a good question. When I'm doing FST, there's probably going to be at some point where I'm going to lean in and do more of a massage technique on something. When I'm doing massage, the main place, if I'm doing massage, that I might do FST type stuff is on the shoulders, on the neck, you know, arms, things like that, pecs, things like that, because I like them to be dressed for the stretch. So I might do massage first and then, you know, say 15 minutes or 30 minutes at the end to do stretching if that's what I feel like is called for that day. But I got a good amount of people. I would say maybe it's 20% of my clientele is like almost strictly FST.
Okay.
Yeah, not a huge, but FST is pretty much part of everything. Even if it's my mindset that I'm using, I think FST is more of a mindset than it is a technique, in my opinion.
So I've come across a lot of massage therapists coming in to get, you know, for the FST courses, but even here locally, like I know massage therapists, they don't have that background. But what would you recommend, or what would you tell massage therapists with how FST can be complementary and how it can help them gain revenue, you know, get more clients, better results? Like, what are some things that you would tell them?
Yeah, I don't think the only other thing that I would say goes together, I don't think anything goes together better than massage and stretching. But the only other missing piece would be strengthening. If you have those three, it's a game. It's crazy, right? So I think more than anything, for people who don't have FST, when you go in there, you're going to walk out, in my opinion, with a confidence that is going to allow you to speak more confidently about your difference and the difference you can make in somebody. Right? Like are you confident enough that if somebody goes somewhere else, that you actually feel bad? Like, I feel like, dang it, I just know they're not going to get as good of results by going somewhere else. Like, when you have that level of confidence, your sales are going to go up because it shows in everything that you do. Right? It shows in the way, and I don't mean like cockiness, because you don't want to have that, but it shows in your level of care. It shows in your marketing. It shows in all of that, your level, like when you're confident like that. So I highly recommend it more than anything for the results and the confidence that it's going to give you. It's a no-brainer to me. What really blows me away is when I was thinking about going to the class or doing level 2, and I reached out to some people I knew from online. They're like, oh, it wasn't that big of a deal. You know, you could probably just stick with level 1. I'm like, and then I go take level 2. I'm like, how are you so insane that you would say something like that? Like, it was such a difference for me. Do you agree?
Hands down. Level 1 is just the basic knowledge, and then, you know, fundamentals. And then level 2 is more like, learning to apply level 1 to level 2, but I guess more in depth is the meat and potatoes, right? They say you can fix a lot more, but I don't know. I mean, I've even come across people who I've interviewed, like they've been level 2 for years, and they're saying I've just been level 2 because I know I can treat a lot more people, but I don't know.
So here's how I break it down. Level 1 is like they're going to give you a routine, right?
Okay.
They're going to give you this routine. It's this outline, and they want you to go practice, stay in that outline, right? Here's a routine. Level 2 is like, let's add some variations to that routine. Let's add some movements to that routine. Let's add a little bit of customization to that routine. And then here's some more moves that you can do as well. Level 3 is like, let's break the routine. Let's now assess and be able to start anywhere, right? If you see, that's where you'll get assessment. And now we can completely break the routine. But I love that style of teaching. And then level 4 is like just more in depth of that. Plus more new moves and new mindset. I love that structure because, in my opinion, you have to have it's super good for learning to have a base routine. Same thing with massage. It's like when I think massage schools need to do a better job of teaching people an actual routine so that they have something to practice and get good at, and then they can start adding variations to it. And it's like, now I can customize it a little bit within this routine. And then as you get good, now it's time to start breaking that routine. And let's start on the foot instead of always the back. Let's start on let's start face up on the neck instead of always face down on the back. And we want to start breaking that routine. And I think they break it down perfectly. In my opinion, it's one of the best taught courses I've ever done in my life. So,
and since you've been taught by, Chris and Ann themselves, all through 4 levels, what can you tell the audience of like how it's so structured well?
I'm sorry, can you ask that again?
I guess like from your experience being level 4 right now, because you've gone every time to level up, but how do you think it's structured so well that it keeps, helping you grow and learn all these new skills? Like, what makes it so special for them to instruct the way they are?
Well, I think from my experience, they have the structure of their training down pat, right? And they teach you in all the different ways. So you have visual where they're actually showing you, right? Then you have somebody do it to you, and then you do it to somebody. And so you get to learn from them actually watching it, you get to learn from feeling it, you get to learn from doing it. And I think even though you might be more inclined to learn one way, I think all 3 are very important. I learn best by feeling what it feels like. I'm like, I need to see what that feels like first so that I know the feeling they're supposed to be experiencing.
Yeah.
Right. And then by doing, and then I think by watching. So, but all 3 are super important. So I think they have it broken down really, really good. And the way they broke it down is because I was analyzing them when I was in the class. I'm like, nothing here is on accident, And I because I read this book called Limitless, and it talks a lot about how people learn. And so I asked her, did you read this book? And she's like, yeah, absolutely. I was like, that has influenced your class, hasn't it? She's like 100%.
No way.
I don't remember which parts. Have you ever heard of Limitless by Jim Quick?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's one of the best-selling help books, right? Self-help books out there.
I believe so. So even when she explains things, she's using things that help you remember. It's a stupid one, but I'm going to say it. There's this one move where you're on the foot and you want your elbow down like this to get the right traction. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And she's like, and she said something. She's like, weenus. The elbow skin. I think it's called a weenus.
Yeah.
She's like, weenus to the floor. And so I'll never forget that. But she's purposefully doing things like that to help you remember certain moves if you pay attention to it. She does all kinds of stuff like that make this teaching stand out in your mind.
That's true. Even in the videos too. I love how the videos, they always give some kind of a line, whether if it's quirky or unique, like you're saying, to help you remember the actual move to stick it to, or the one thing that they always try to help you remember to do. That's awesome. So let's kind of fast forward into, I guess it's for you, what made you start Massage Customs? And I'm like, how did you start your practice, obviously, because you have how many? You have 2 or 3 therapists right now working with you.
I got 2 right now. Yeah, I had
Okay.
up to 6 at one point before COVID.
Okay. Yeah. So like, I guess what made you get started with starting Massage Custom, since you were doing solo, obviously, and then you decided to start a business hiring massage therapists? What was it?
Yeah, I mean, look, back in the day when I was just a young boy, I remember sitting on my friend's porch and I'm thinking, dude, I don't know what I want to do. I just know I don't want to do it for somebody else my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up going to massage school for massage. And when I first came out of school, I got a job at Massage Envy. I was trying to build my clientele in school, but it just wasn't happening. I had like 2 clients. It was a husband and wife that I got from school because I had heard that people did that, but it just wasn't working for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the job at Massage Envy, and I remember one of my friends there. I was like, yo, if I'm here for more than 2 years, punch me in the face. Right? So like 5 years later, I finally went out on my own,
Uh-huh.
But the year before I went out on my own, I started reading business books, self-help, personal development, sales, customer service, right? Like anything like finance, like I got my personal finances together. I read Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover, which probably had the biggest impact. Yeah.
I'm a financial coach. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, I got, yeah, bro. Like I became a financial coach during COVID 2020. Like I remember because it changed my life. Like, so like, yeah, that's how I see it.
You're a Dave Ramsey financial coach?
Yeah, bro.
That's pretty dope.
So, okay, keep going.
I give out his book for free to clients all the time. And I just tell them, just make sure you don't cut me out of your budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. Promise you won't cut me out of your budget and I'll give you this book.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I mean, we did his program. I paid off $26,000 in 7.5 months.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, right, I think because, as a believer in God, right, like I believe that when you're responsible with what you have, you're given more to manage. And I think that's a universal principle, whether you believe in God or not, right? When you're really good at what you do at work with the responsibilities you're given at work, your boss is going to give you more to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to level up. Same thing with your personal finances. When you manage your personal finances really well, it's like more money just starts coming to you because now you can handle it. Before that, it doesn't really matter how much comes to you because you're just going to waste it. So I went from in a 5-month period after reading that book and then starting others, I went from 1 to 2 clients a week to 7 to 8, 1 to 2 clients a month to 7 to 8 a week in 5 months. And of course, the customer service helped and all the other things that I was doing, writing thank you cards to clients, things like that. Sales skills went up a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
I did that for a year, went from 1 to 200 a month in revenue to like 13 to 1500 a month consistently. And then I had the confidence after that to go out on my own. I quit my job and because I was doing both full time, right? It was 3.5 days at Massage Envy, 3.5 days in my own business. And then when I made the jump, I'm like, debt is paid off at that time. I'm like, we can do this. We're budgeting. My wife is working, all those things. And so I went from 18 clients my first month to 60 by month 6 and 90 by month 12. After that, I decided to hire 2 people because I was getting a lot of phone calls for women, female therapists. And I'm like, dude, I just don't look good in a wig,
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
So I hired 2 female therapists and started that journey. Grew that up to 6 therapists and like over 400,000 in revenue. And then 2020 happened. 2020 happened. All of a sudden, people started reaching out to me for coaching for the first time. And because I was putting out content and stuff, and I just really liked helping people with business and stuff like that. Because I just love talking about business and finances and money and all that stuff. And so 2020 happened. I stopped hiring. I was like, what do I want? What do I really want? Because in my mind, I wanted this huge, massive business, 10,000 therapists, locations all over the place. But when I sat down and asked myself, what do I really want? The answer that came to me was peace. And I was like, is anything I'm doing right now creating peace? The answer was no. Right? It was headache after headache after headache. And so I just stopped hiring and I focused on myself a little bit more. Raised my prices, focused on me, grew my clientele again. The therapists, all the therapists that have worked for me are basically out on their own and successful, which I'm happy to have had a small part of that journey. And then, yeah, so recently I've been coaching people. I've been flying out to places, training their therapists, doing over the phone Zoom coaching. And then recently I decided to hire again. But it's been a much more peaceful process because I have it down.
Yeah.
So
you have a system in place.
correct.
And
I was
even
winging it before.
Yeah, I think that it's important to have a financial backing. Like for me, like starting my practice, I wanted to know, I knew I wanted to have it where I was not going to take out any debt. I want to be a cash-based, debt-free business where I didn't have to borrow loans. Because like, of course, a lot of people tell you, go borrow a loan, go borrow money. Me, paid off $37,000, 14 months. I know the struggle. It's real, man. When you're in credit card debt, loans, student loans, everything, like it just piles up and you're making your money to pay off that and you're trying to survive. So like just starting a practice itself, that's another daunting thing for people is like that's more added to your plate. But for me, once I got that, out of my life and living debt free now, it's like I'm able to make decisions now. I get to choose, and so like that's awesome that you have that in the back with your family. Like I said, it's peaceful. You have peace because you don't have to worry about that. And so that's one thing I'm hoping to do this year is to start a coaching practice actually for practitioners so they can start becoming debt free, because I think that's important, right?
Yeah, my first coaching client, we worked in Dave Ramsey's Ideals, and she ended up paying off like, what was it, like $7,500 or $10,000 in a few months, paying her mom off, all these things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was really, really cool to see. I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Dude.
Now we're in the process of paying off our house, so our house should be paid off by the end of the year.
There we go. Baby step 7, baby. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So tell me, so I know we're switching gears now again to your business. You're coaching now. So knowing that, you have your coaching program, what does it entail? If you give us a small snippet of, if people are interested in coaching and whatnot, what is it? What do you do? How can you help them and whatnot? And what are they getting out of it, having a coaching session with you?
Well, a little bit of what I said earlier. Remember when I was talking about communicating with the client about and getting those thoughts out of their head?
Mm-hmm.
That little snippet is part of my client whisper system, right? It's a communication system that I created to help massage therapists. You can include other groups, but the main target is massage therapists to communicate better with their customers to get them better results, right? And it works really well with FST as well, because we don't understand that the clients have expectations in their minds, right? And if we're not meeting those expectations, and if we're not getting good communication back from them and good feedback from them, then we're not going to meet those expectations. So we first have to get what are the expectations? What are you expecting out of today's session, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are the results that you expect to achieve? And one of the questions I ask in my consultation is, are you expecting a miracle today? And I ask that question.
Yeah.
I ask that question because, go ahead.
No, that's so true though. Most people are coming in to say, fix me right away, right?
Well, even if they aren't consciously,
mm-hmm.
Once I ask the question, it brings that thought to the conscious mind. And then a lot of times they'll check themselves like, no, of course not. I know this is going to take more than one session. And it's such a key question. If you just add that one question, they're going to start telling themselves that they need more than one session without you even saying it. Right? That's incognito, right? This is client whisper, So when you ask really good questions, you can get way better answers. Right. So that's one of the questions I ask in my consultation. Then I explain to them that we have a plan for the session. Here's the plan. So let me go back. Really good questions in the consultation. Right. So we go over consultation because that is one of the keys to rebooking, to getting the client bought in to the fact that they actually need work. Because if you don't ask the right questions and pull emotion out of them, they are not going to have any real need for change, right? Because they don't we normalize pain. So we need to help them understand that this isn't normal, that there is a better way. And if they don't feel that emotionally, then they're not going to be incentivized to do anything different than what they're doing now. So we do that in the consultation. Then we reset their expectations on what to expect. That's where the start of that question is. Just so we move into resetting expectations. We tell them what the plan is for the session. And the reason I do that is because I don't want them thinking and wondering what is going to happen next. As much as I can keep them out of their head and stop these thoughts from entering their brain, the more relaxed they are, the more they're just sitting there in trust, right? So then we actually do the work. And the questions that we ask while we're doing the work determine the answers that we get. Most people are asking really bad questions here, and so they don't get really good feedback. And so they think they're doing a good job. They think they're giving the customer what they want and what they expect, but they're not. Have you ever had a massage before?
Yes.
Was it good?
I'm sure it was, but it's not lasting. I still have pain.
When you got up, you still had pain, right?
Of course.
Were
yes.
you excited about the results afterwards, or were you kind of disappointed?
Yeah, disappointed, of course.
Disappointed.
Yeah, because it didn't last for a long time.
Right. And did you tell the therapist that?
No, because I didn't book with them.
Right. This is what happens over and over and over again. That therapist had no idea that you weren't satisfied with the massage. They probably came in and asked, how are you feeling? And you were like, I feel good. Yeah, thank you so much. Right? Yeah. And that's okay, because you don't want to hurt their feelings. I get it. Right? But you're like, I'm never coming back here. And you're going to go tell the next therapist all the reasons why you're never going to go back there. I want them telling me that live now so that I can make the adjustment in real time. And we do that with the right questions in the session. I want to make sure I'm getting it right here. And so with the right questions, we're able to pull that information out so that we can make the adjustment right away. So that way they get up and their expectations, we've exceeded their expectations, because they're used to being disappointed. It ain't that hard to exceed their expectations.
Yeah.
Right? If we can find the right pressure, we can find the right area, we can work that area for the right amount of time, the chances that they really are really happy with their massage are really, really good. So even after the stretching sessions, when I check in, I'm getting honest answers back. I'm like, did we get improvement? Is there improvement? Because I want improvement.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, yeah, it's improved. I'm like, but it's still there. And they're like, yeah, it's still there. I'm like, okay, let's get down. Let me try this. Let me try this other thing. It gives me an opportunity to try to get more out of that session. But the whole time we're framing it as a process anyways, and not an event. That's the main thing that I train people on, is how to improve their communication in the session to get better results. And then around that, because in my opinion, the number one thing that needs to happen for you to have a successful service business is the product needs to be amazing. The service that you provide, the thing that you do, needs to be on point. You need to get people results. And that's massage, that's stretch, that's estheticians, that's handyman, right? It doesn't matter what service business you're in. If you're not good at the thing that you do, all the marketing and sales in the world isn't going to make you busy.
Yeah.
So I fixed that first. Once that's fixed, the marketing and the sales and all that other stuff, that's easy. You know how easy it is to get somebody to buy a package when they really loved what you did? When the results were amazing? It's cake. I don't have to sell. Here's my options to work with me. Which one did you want to choose? They're like, oh, let me do that one. I'm like, perfect. Let's do that one. Like it's that easy when the service is really good. And so that's where I focus mainly is the communication in the service, resetting customer expectations, those conversations that you're going to have that are going to take your result to the next level. I'll give you an example that's outside of what we do, right? A plumber came to my house and gave me a quote. Hey, it's going to be $145 to change the faucet, the little shut-off valve, right? And then he got there and he's like, oh, I didn't know it was this. It's going to be $299. Right? And even though he might not be screwing me over, I feel like he is. Right? So already, whether the work is good or not, I'm probably never going to use this dude again.
Yeah.
Now, if he would have just changed the conversation and added communication in there and said, hey, it's $145 if it's this. The only thing that could change that would be this, this, and this. And if it's that, then it'll be this. And then I'm already expecting that, well, I don't know which one it is. We'll see what happens when he gets there. You know? And then if he
Yeah.
went up, I wouldn't be so disappointed and I wouldn't feel like he's ripping me off.
Mhm.
Right. So it's these types of little conversations that no matter what business you're in, when you have good communication, it can take your results and your client satisfaction to crazy levels. So you're not even changing anything in the work, really. You're changing their expectations and the conversations around what you do.
I think that's one of the missing things about the Stretch to Win Institute is this conversation we're having is we have the craft. It's how we're using it, and so we can become successful. And I think that's a missing aspect that could be implemented somehow, but it's not being taught. And we have to, obviously create our own system, like what you're doing, and finding ways, because imagine if everyone was good at communication and sales skills. I think FST will be known more, but we probably aren't being taught, or they don't have that skill set, of sales communications, because obviously at the end of the day, sales is a way to communicate your product or service to someone to find their needs and solve it. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything is sales. Like you can chop up every conversation you've ever had in your life to sales.
Yeah.
Right? I'm selling you on the idea, whether we want to go to which movie we want to go to. I'm selling you on the idea of what dinner we're going to have tonight. Any conversation, there's a negotiation in like every conversation, even if it's just a negotiation of me getting you to believe what I believe. Right? So when you're really good at sales, people don't think you're actually selling. It's just conversational. I never want to hear that I'm good at sales. Ever. If I hear that, it's an insult. I'm like, you actually feel like I'm selling you right now? I don't like that. Like you don't go to a restaurant and the waitress offers you dessert and you're like, man, she's such a good salesperson.
No. Yeah.
No, she's just good at service.
Mm-hmm.
She provides great customer service. Like that's what I implement in people's businesses. It's all of it, right? It's sales, it's service, but it's inserting care into everything that you do and like really caring. So you want the results. So you got to get better at this.
Mm-hmm. All right, gentlemen, that was the end of the talk. Oh man, dude, that was deep, man. That was deep because it hit home to me, because my upbringing since I graduated college has been based off of sales. I've been selling things. And so to me, when I was started this journey of FST, I didn't really think that I would need to use sales, or I would say communication skills, more than ever, because I'm doing a service based. But I think now having this conversation, it's more important to have that communication skills from the years of sales that I've had, from insurance to, I was an insurance salesman for about a number of years, 5 years. So I've always been across one-on-one, sitting down with families, people who are struggling to get out of debt, or life insurance, And so I think I love building that relationship, but of course, helping them give peace of mind of what I'm doing. And I never did screw them over, because if anything, I helped replace their trash life insurance, which was whole life. And so, yeah, don't even get me started, bro. But I think ever since then, and of course, doing to this where I'm working with, the body, I'm realizing I can apply those things that I've had in the past to this work, because it's just like you're saying, just communicating with people to give them the expectation, and finding out what it is so that you can provide that great service. And that's something I think I should be implementing, but I have not, because I'm just so focused on the craft of FST. So thanks for the reminder, man.
Yeah, man. It's like I said, sales is everything, bro. It's everything. I just had my brother-in-law is the sales manager for a moving company, and he just hired me to do sales training with him because he wants to double his income this year. Most of the conversations we're having are around service. It's around asking better questions. Mm-hmm. It's not about pitching your product, telling people why we're so good. It's none of that. It's let's figure out some better questions that we can ask that pull out better answers from them, so that we can make sure that we can exceed their expectations. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I feel it, bro. I feel it through the mic. So yeah, definitely. But dude, Thank you so much. At the close of this podcast, I'd love for the audience to, of course, find ways that they can either book a session there in Las Vegas or a coaching session. So feel free for either both of those two avenues: email, phone, website, social media handle, the location, so that they can come and book a session. So go ahead, feel free to share.
Yeah, if you're looking to book a stretch or massage session, you can visit me at massagecustoms.com. You can book online, or our number is there on the website as well. Or to follow me on social media, it's at Michael Ortiz Jr. Michael Ortiz Jr. on Instagram and TikTok. I do a lot more videos on TikTok. And then if you want to do any coaching, if you want to explore a consultation or a clarity call, sometimes I can even give you some really good advice on that free call. You can go to michaelortizjr.com. and I have a form for a free consultation there. I also have a free workbook that you can download, which is a how to know what to charge in your business without no more guessing what you should be charging, and it walks you through that step by step. You can download that at michaelortizjr.com as well.
Cool. Well, those of you who are listening and are looking to basically become a FST practitioner through the Stretch to Win Institute, you can go to stretchtowin.com, put in either Stretch to Go or Ian Ray under there. You can get $200 off your level 1 course. It's a new referral program, so mention me. But I will say that you can also find a practitioner near you. Wherever in the world, put in your location and someone will pop up within the certain mile radius that you're looking for. So either one, enrolling to be a practitioner or finding a practitioner, you can go to stretchtowin.com. Don't forget to subscribe and follow the Stretch to Go podcast, coming out every Friday, new episodes at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard. Michael, thank you so much for being on the podcast, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, man. Everyone, take care and keep it locked in.